Welcome to the Seattle Video Voters Guide, your chance to hear directly from the candidates on the November ballot. This is a vote-by-mail election. Instead of going to a polling place, ballots will be sent to all registered voters. In this edition, you'll hear from the candidates who will appear on the general election ballot for Seattle Mayor, Seattle City Attorney, the 2 at-large Seattle City Council positions, and 3 of the 7 Seattle School Board positions. All offices included in this guide are nonpartisan. Each of the statements is up to 2 minutes long and unedited. The candidates appear on your screen in the same order as they will on the ballot. First up, the office of Seattle Mayor. The mayor of the city of Seattle is the chief executive officer of the city and is responsible for enforcing city and state law, city contracts, and maintaining order. The mayor appoints department heads, subject to city council approval, and manages the executive branch of city government. The mayor has the authority to veto ordinances passed by the city council, and the council may override such vetoes by a 2/3 majority vote. The mayor is elected for a 4-year term.
Seattle is starving for effective leadership. Out of 15 candidates in the primary, I received the most votes because I said I will be the mayor who makes no excuses and acts with a sense of urgency. I will unite our communities and make real progress on the challenges we face. I have a proven track record of doing so. My father was one of City Light's first black union linemen, and my Japanese mother was cruelly interned during World War II. Their fight for equity and justice drives my public service to work for you. The homelessness crisis is our first priority. I don't make excuses, I take action. Here's my plan. Using at least 12% of our budget as a baseline, we will secure $140 million in federal funds to provide immediate housing. We will build 2,000 units our first year alone. We have the sites, we have the money. Let's clean up our parks, school properties, and sidewalks. Our written plan will be accessible to you by a click of a button. Next, we must unite around an economic recovery for all. Assisting downtown and neighborhood small businesses, we will create a Seattle Job Center connecting people to careers. You may recall I led the $15 minimum wage discussion, and now I'll work to expand childcare, affordable housing, and transit so working people and families can continue to call our city home. We will improve public safety and build trust in our police by changing tactics and culture. You may recall I sponsored Seattle's first anti-bias police law. Let's reimagine policing, not threaten defunding. Let's keep everyone, all communities safe. I'm grateful so many have endorsed me. Governor Gary Locke, Seattle mayors Norm Rice, Charlie Royer, and Wes Ullman, the Seattle Times, the Transit Union 587, our bus drivers, Communication Workers of Washington, Washington State Council of County and City Employees, the Iron Workers, Local 86, leaders from the NAACP and the faith communities, so many more. I ask for your vote. My name is Bruce Harrell, and I ask for your vote.
I'm Lorena Gonzalez. I'm a first-time mom and a proud first-generation American. I grew up in Central Washington as a migrant farm worker, earning my first paycheck at 8 years old, and worked my way from community college through law school. As a civil rights attorney, I won cases for victims of sexual assault, wage theft, elder abuse, and police misconduct and brutality. I decided to run for mayor after seeing how hard things are becoming for too many Seattleites, especially women, workers, and people of color. Housing is too expensive. Wages are too low. Big corporations have too much say, and police are not being held accountable nearly enough. If we dream big and work hard, we can build a Seattle that's livable for everyone. A city that brings people together to solve the root causes of homelessness, like inequality and poverty, while we rapidly build shelter and affordable housing. Where Black and brown people don't fear police brutality because we've restructured public safety to keep everyone safe. A city of connected, livable, safe neighborhoods with affordable childcare, grocery stores, safe parks, and modern public transit with housing and rent everyone can afford. Where all kinds of businesses can grow in every neighborhood and all jobs pay a living wage. And big corporations and the wealthy finally pay their fair share. This is the really hard and necessary work of the next mayor. I have the track record and relationships with the council, labor, small businesses, and members of the community to bring people together and boldly lead so Seattle is once again the vibrant city we all love, truly a Seattle for all. I ask for your vote to be Seattle's next and your very first Latina mayor.
Seattle City Attorney. The city attorney is the head of the law department and appoints all assistant city attorneys, city prosecutors, and other department staff. The city attorney supervises and controls litigation in which the city or any of its departments is a party. The city attorney also provides legal counsel to all city departments and to elected and appointed officials. The city attorney is elected for a 4-year term.
We all want to be safe in our homes, on our streets, and in the city that we love. In pursuit of that goal, we have poured our money into cops, courts, and jails with ever worse returns on our investment. The city attorney prosecutes misdemeanors. Right now, we spend over $70 million per year punishing the poor, BIPOC, and the disabled for misdemeanors, most of which are petty crimes. If we want safe and healthy communities, we have to stop giving in to those who pander to fear. We must instead enact real solutions that get to the heart of our problems, and we can. The lack of available addiction and mental health treatment has resulted in widespread and visible suffering. For the health of the entire community, we need expanded access to treatment and help prior to crisis. A victims' compensation fund will repair people and small businesses. I will work with community to expand accountability programs that interrupt harm and advance healing and connection. I will listen to what survivors tell me they need to be empowered: a trauma-informed approach, violence prevention programs, and the resources they need to stay safe, with prosecution as a last resort until we build something better. The city attorney does not just deal with misdemeanors, it also directs all of Seattle's civil litigation, and I will take on those who have done the most harm to our community: landlords that abuse tenants, companies that commit wage theft, and fossil fuel corporations that have knowingly created our climate crisis. I will litigate to make sure that those who have done large-scale harm to our city are held financially accountable for their actions, not taxpayers. Our shortage of affordable housing is a community crisis. Jail is not the answer. Housing is. I will collaborate with the mayor and council to change our land use code so we can build affordable housing quickly. Everyone in Seattle deserves to be safe and healthy. Let's make it a reality.
I'm Ann Davison, and I'm running for Seattle City Attorney because our city must reconcile that it is failing to meet the needs of our most vulnerable, as well as the basic functions of protecting public health and safety. The people of Seattle have suffered enough from growing crime and dysfunction. Our laws exist to help our most vulnerable while ensuring a safe home for our community. When the People's Courthouse is not safe and employees are told to stay home because it's too dangerous there, we need a new way. The city attorney represents our crime victims and is a critical link to public safety, downtown and in our neighborhoods, deciding when to prosecute many types of criminal activity. Defense attorneys represent someone accused of a crime. When the prosecutor acts as a second defense attorney, there is no justice for crime victims, who must be put in the center. Abolishing police, prosecution, and jails will not make our city safer or more livable. The city attorney's office is not the place for radical activism. It must be the place that holds our limits so that the rest of society can function and flourish. I will set the tone and direction of the city's law department as a trusted, collaborative leader, being proactive, not reactive. I will surround myself with experts to provide the best legal services to the city, holding standards of accountability for reform and safety. I am endorsed by the Seattle Times, unions representing workers who create the backbone of our economy, former Governor Dan Evans, retired municipal court presiding judge Ed McKenna, former King County prosecutor Chris Bailey, and former Seattle City Attorney Mark Sidron, because they know that Seattle needs an effective leader as city attorney. I am endorsed by community leaders like Victoria Beach, Harvey Drake, and many more because they agree we can have meaningful reform and restore public safety. With your vote, we can create a safer, more compassionate city for all of us.
Seattle City Council. The Seattle City Council is the legislative branch of government. Members set the city's direction by enacting ordinances and passing resolutions. The council authorizes expenditures, adopts regulations, levies taxes, controls the finances and property of the city, and performs many related legislative tasks. Of the 9 city council positions, 2, Position 8 and Position 9, are at large, representing the entire city for a term of 4 years. Positions 1 through 7 each represent different districts of the city. Only the 2 at-large council positions are up for election this year. The remaining 7 district council positions will be on the ballot in 2023. All voters in Seattle can vote in both of the at-large city council races.
Emerging from this pandemic, we have an opportunity to come together, to roll up our sleeves and build a stronger, more equitable Seattle. I'm Teresa Mosqueda, and I've dedicated my career to building coalitions and getting results by bringing together diverse perspectives and passing progressive policies that challenge the status quo. In my first term here at Seattle City Council, with your help, we passed progressive policies to make Seattle more equitable and just. I led the coalition and passed the Jumpstart Progressive Revenue proposal to bring in over $214 million a year for investments in housing and small businesses, in equitable development and Green New Deal priorities. I passed wage and leave standards for app-based drivers, made sure that our hotel workers had health care and workplace protections, and during COVID, made sure that our grocery workers had hazard pay. I led on the Domestic Workers' Bill of Rights that is now a national model for other cities. And we addressed the climate crisis by passing energy efficiency standards for city buildings and funding more housing within the city of Seattle. In the wake of COVID, I hope to continue to do this important work with your support. I hope to return to council with your vote and make sure that we can continue to invest in workers and small businesses, address environmental crisis, as well as make sure that we're addressing the health and stability for all Seattleites. I will fight for more affordable housing across our city, for police accountability and upstream investments, making sure that we invest in homeless prevention strategies and ensure that workers and small businesses have the support they need for a more equitable Seattle post-COVID. I hope you'll join me and support my campaign for re-election. Please join individuals like Representative Jayapal, Attorney General Bob Ferguson, labor unions from across this county, including SEIU, Teamsters, UFCW, so many environmental justice groups like the Sierra Club and Washington Conservation Voters, and folks fighting for women's rights, LGBT rights, and healthcare justice. It's been an honor to serve you.
My name is Kenneth Wilson, and I'm running for Seattle City Council 8. I'm a licensed bridge structural engineer with 30 years experience working on transportation and infrastructure projects and own a small business since 2005. I completed my master's degree in civil engineering at UW, and I'm a proud resident of Seattle for over 28 years. Having lived in West Seattle and now in the Wallingford-Green Lake neighborhood with my wife and 2 daughters, I have a strong appreciation for the city's many distinct neighborhoods. This past year has taught me important lessons and is the reason I'm running. It reminded me of the value of family. It showed me once again the ingenuity of American science and manufacturing, with Ford and GE quickly switching to medical devices, while our scientists were first to produce mass testing and viable vaccines. Unfortunately, it also demonstrated to me that our incumbent representatives do not hold our interests and needs first. Instead, often focusing on political projects. We need a better council. Our council failed us with homeless, our infrastructure, including cutting the West Seattle access, and our safety. I will not defund our police and instead promise to support and work with them to better serve Seattle. Our city is an old, mature city, and the infrastructure needs to be updated and upgraded. This includes power, utility systems, sewer mains, water, and our city's bridges and roads. West Seattle access must be restored and open now, not in 2022. We've analyzed it, we understand it better, and there are usage opportunities. We need homeless solutions that are not just temporary shelter, but real actions that correct addictions and mental problems, such as an 18 to 24-month transition housing with social services. As your council member, it's my intention to build on our strengths, restore rational decisions, and to assure progress follow-up. I have the ability, energy, and expertise to restore Seattle to the city we want. I would appreciate your vote.
In the last year, Seattle has had a reckoning with racial inequality, a battle with a devastating pandemic, a homelessness state of emergency, and a continued climate catastrophe. The question before Seattle voters is straightforward. Will we continue to rely on policies of the past, many of which have brought us to this point, or is it time for a fresh perspective rooted in community care? My name is Nikita Oliver. I use they, them pronouns, and I am running for Seattle City Council's citywide position 9. I'm a community organizer, executive director, artist, adjunct professor at Seattle University School of Law, and an attorney who has supported clients through school exclusion, eviction, and anti-discrimination cases. When elected, I will serve with the conviction that we need solutions now that are commensurate with the crises we are facing and in alignment with the vision of the city we strive to be. A vote for the Nikita for 9 campaign is a vote for a city that embodies racial and economic justice, a city with labor protections, prevailing wages, and health care for all, a city that enacts progressive revenue to build housing and meet the basic needs of our residents, a city that takes bold action to address the climate crisis, working towards free transit and reforming zoning codes that restrict our supply of affordable housing and further perpetuate racist exclusionary zoning patterns. Our campaign has received more democracy vouchers than any city council candidate because we have built community power from the ground up, from the South End to North Seattle, among renters and vulnerable homeowners, seniors at risk of displacement, and young people alike. We've been endorsed by the MLK Labor Council, the Urbanist, the Stranger, Seattle Democratic Socialist of America, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, Seattle City Council members Morales and Mosqueda, former Councilmember Mike O'Brien, County Councilmember Zahalai, and former Councilmember Larry Gossett, Washington State Representative Kirsten Harris-Talley, and State Senator Rebecca Saldana. Together we will build the city we say we are, a city where all are healthy and thriving.
Seattle, we've got to talk. We live in a gorgeous city, but unfortunately, our elected leaders are failing our most vulnerable. We see it when we walk through our neighborhoods, in our parks, and on our downtown streets. On critical issues like homelessness and public safety, City Council is making big promises, but delivering few, if any, measurable results. It's time for a change, and I bring the right experience to make that change happen. As a former council aide, I helped pass landmark legislation to build affordable housing, increase transit, and tackle climate change. As co-founder of Fremont Brewing, I created a neighborhood business that's known for taking care of its workers and giving back to the community. As your council member, I'll be a pragmatic progressive, someone with a plan to get things done, providing housing for our most vulnerable while restoring our parks and playgrounds. And I'll be responsive, accountable, and transparent. I have to be blunt with you. There's a big contrast in this race. My opponent says that abolishing the police is the first step in public safety. I think that's irresponsible. I strongly support comprehensive police reform, but I believe that when you call 911, you should be able to count on a fast, effective, and fair response. That balanced approach has earned me the support of police reform leaders like Victoria Beach, chair of the African American Community Advisory Council, and Reverend Harriet Walden, founder of Mothers for Police Accountability. I'm also honored to be endorsed by the Seattle Times, the Seattle firefighters, laborers, and ironworkers unions, and many more. I'm in this to solve problems and rebuild the city we love. There is hope. And together, we can make Seattle a place that keeps its promises to those who need it most. I'm Sarah Nelson, and I ask for your vote. Learn more at sarahforcitycouncil.com.
Seattle School Board. The Seattle School Board adopts the policies that govern Seattle public schools. The board provides direction for the educational program. The 7 directors represent different areas of the city. Directors are nonpartisan and serve 4-year terms. Just 3 of the 7 district seats are up for election this year. In the primary, only those who live in the school board district that was on the ballot were eligible to vote for candidates in that district. The top 2 vote-getters in each of those districts advance to the general election. At the general election, all voters in Seattle will have the opportunity to vote for 1 candidate from each district.
Public education transformed my life. That is why I want to be your next school board director. As a child of working-class immigrants, I started school as an English as a second language student. It was a public school teacher who identified my hearing disability and got me the support I needed to fulfill my potential. My family takes great pride that I am the first woman in my family to graduate from college. Seattle Public Schools can do better. The talents and commitments of our teachers, principal, and staff are there. I see it every day as a mother of 4 current and future students, PTA president, and member of the Superintendent's Parent Advisory Council. We must support them with a budget and board that reflects our values. We can simultaneously tackle equity, academic quality, and operational efficiency so that our students are thoroughly prepared, be it career, college, or community. I bring a diverse background and professional skills in finance and operations that are needed to better support our district. As director, I commit to establishing mental health as an essential service to re-engage students who are falling behind, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. Making tangible progress on inclusion and academic outcomes, securing needed transportation and assistance for families, hiring a superintendent with a strong vision for our district's future, and diving into capital and operating budgets to ensure equity and spending accountability. I'm honored to have the endorsements of the Stranger, the 36th, 43rd, and 46th District Democrats, National Women's Political Caucus, One America Votes, Alliance for Gun Responsibility, Fuse Progressive Voters Guide, State Senators Reuven Carlisle and Jamie Peterson, Representative Jerry Pollitt, King County Councilmember Jeannie Cole-Wells, former school board directors Betty Patu, Eden Mack, Sue Peters, Michael DeBell, Rick Burke, Kay Smith-Bloom, and others. And I'd be honored to have your vote.
Hi, my name is Laura Marie Rivera, R-I-V-E-R-A. In this challenging year, I have decided to lean in. I'm the mother of 4 Seattle Public Schools students. I am a nonprofit professional, a former Broadway performer, and I'm an educator. I'm running for school board because I want to create a safe and welcoming environment for all Seattle students, regardless of race, gender, economics, abilities, religion, first language, you name it. And I want to give each of them the very best public education. We owe this to them and to our society as a whole. Now, there won't be any dancing in this video. I'll leave that to my Broadway performing days of the past. But did you know that the future stars, captains of industry, influential scientists, community builders, and essential workers of tomorrow are in our schools today? A quality public education is the greatest gift we can give them. It opens the door for a brighter future and gives our students the skills they need to succeed. All services must be delivered equitably and effectively, 100% inclusive, and center on each individual student's needs. I intend to build on the district's commitment to equity and open up the possibilities for all of our students. It is paramount that we are keeping up with the highest safety standards and respecting the needs of our educators and staff. As a family with learning disabilities, we know how difficult it can be to navigate the system and advocate for our child. I would like to use my experiences as a parent, teacher, and member of our community to advocate for all of our children. This attention to our students means graduation and success. Seattle is a leader in technology, innovation, and the arts. We need to make sure that our students have access to the skills and opportunities that those industries can provide. If I'm elected as a Seattle School Board Director, I pledge to listen and to learn and to make the best possible choices for our students. I'm Laura Marie Rivera, and I would be proud to win your vote.
You've just seen all the video statements recorded by the candidates that appear on the Seattle general election ballots. For King County and Port of Seattle candidates and issues, watch the King County version of the Video Voters Guide. This program is a collaboration of the Seattle Ethics and Elections Commission, the Seattle Channel, and King County TV. This will be a vote-by-mail election. Ballots will be sent to all registered voters. Look for your ballot in the mail after October 13th and vote and return it on or before Tuesday, November 2nd. Remember to sign the envelope with your voted ballot. To learn about accessible voting options, go to kingcounty.gov/elections. Ballots can be returned via U.S. mail or at one of King County's secured ballot drop boxes. Ballots must be postmarked by November 2nd. You can track the progress of your ballot online and find the location of drop boxes by visiting King County Elections at kingcounty.gov/elections. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to hear from you about the Video Voter's Guide. To comment on this guide, please call 206-684-8500 or email us at ethicsанdelections@seattle.gov.